无论是我们用什么方式来改变我们接下来自己作为机构、自己作为艺术工作者、作为空间经营者的行为，我们改变了我们建筑的结构，我们改变了我们的空调的系统，我们改变了我们运输的方法，甚至是我们邀请大家搭乘大众交通运输来到这个美术馆，而不是自行开车。这些改变都非常重要，可是这些改变它必须进一步的形成下一步的方案，并且进一步将这些方法、数据统整起来之后，希望可以影响有着更有威力、可以影响更多人的单位机构，例如说给予赞助的国议会，给予政策支持的文化部，甚至是更多民间企业，让他们来回应这个部分的改善。然后我们将这些数据整合起来，提供给更多的人、更大的企业、我们的政府单位，未来在政策以及整体计划上的改善，才有可能真正达到我们在2030年希望朝向一个零碳的社会、零碳的艺术永续环境来前进。
A question that I try to ask in this project, Art of Coming Down to Earth, is also to what extent can we extend or transpose these museum maintenance practices for the benefits of more than human communities. So part of the problem, but maybe also part of the solution. We're looking at restoring and regenerating to make space for larger trees, carbon-sinking trees, and more biodiverse habitats. And yeah, start kind of reflection on what museums and art institutions, from their particular position and knowledge, can contribute to healthier ecosystems. So evaluate and understand our impact, agree on declaring emergency and setting up environmental framework for action and reduce that impact. But also, and that's a very important point, maybe extend our expertise in caring and maintaining and preserving to the benefits of ecosystems globally.
美术或者是视觉艺术，它的一个很重要的一个扮演的角色，就是让看不见的东西被看见。就像大家现在看到我的身上的这个背心，这个就是我们这一次参与在北双的公共艺术计划里面的一个叫做“空气漫游者”的一件作品。那这一件作品，它会跟着我们的导览人员，当他在导览的时候，就会游走在美术馆的空间。那我们看到很棒的是，它现在呈现绿色，表示我们现在所在场域的空气是很好的。几届的双年展，包含例如说我2008年的作品啊，就是我们其实已经投入了非常多的力气在讨论这个事情。我也确实觉得说，我们现在如何转化为一个更有效的一个集体的行动是重要的。
In my opinion, art understood in a wide sense, abstraction, myth, religion, spirituality, ritual, poetry, is in fact the most resilient technology that we have ever as a species come up with. In order to record, maintain and endure our ongoing and thriving rather than destructive relationship with and as part of this planet.
This is such a global issue. We need to come together and act globally. Culture is global. Let's be big and bold and brave and solidarity is the name of the game. And 10, celebrate, take joy in this new cultural ecology. And the last word goes to culture. We change culture and culture changes the world.
Metaphorically and not abstract and real. It's like the notion of land, water, taking care of things, cultivating, harvesting, and hopefully also like the joy of celebration of harvesting. We can do. We can also share it to the public as big as possible with many formats as possible.
As the time kind of goes, we want to become more radical. We might become vegan. We might become without plastics. And this is also the journey that we're collaboratively making and just trying to accelerate that transition. Bridges that gap between maker and industry, what a material bank usually is. This is more a bank between maker and maker. So that everyone can kind of build on that knowledge that's already out there and see that there's actually a lot of people in this same path, in this same transition.
不是只有种树、固碳，而是你要让那个种下来的树将来去一个好的地方，例如说成为一个好的家具，成为一些好的产品，而不是成为我们手上的 paper， 然后明天把它烧掉以后，它又跑出来了。
单是硬体的话还是不够，那其实最重要还是在使用建筑的人本身的习惯的生活的一个形态，它才会真正可以达到一个减碳。最重要的关键是你愿不愿意去做，你愿不愿意做，你愿不愿意变成为自己的习惯。
比较要紧就是用这个心态，今天是起步，明天都要大家知道大家的问题在哪里。我们有专业的人跟我们说，你解决的方法，国内国外都可以参考。然后我们最重要的是怎么样去介入，希望大家知道台湾可以更好。我们以这个文化人的责任，我们以声音先发起，所以这个地球只有你跟我一个小地球。谢谢你，我希望从今天开始，大家思考如何不是光说不练哦。
What you also see in the Future Materials Bank is to really an attempt to create some excitement about the beauty of the alternatives. But actually there's also a super exciting side showing, there's these materials that are much more beautiful than what we were using before. And it's about showing that kind of wealth and excitement, and that it can be beautiful, and it's not about a loss, it's about something that is better than what we had before.
The choices we do as artists, as institutions, as collectives are always in affinity with a planet, with a certain world, and of course we try to engender communal, positive, healthy well-being and terrestrial worlds. But I think that's also a good, for me it's going in a good direction to see this question in this way rather than just a pure apathic mode.
我们艺术有行动力，有亲和力，有可以帮忙游说的，我们要一起起码站起来，不是要你马上到0，可是起步了。好，
我认为一个所谓的 button up 是，如果你真的感受到这件事情对你很重要，那你就尽你的所能去做。那我只是尽一个科学家在土壤部分的所能去做，我相信每个老师都尽自己的所能在做。虽然我们在主要讨论的是艺术机构和文化机构以及从业人员的行为可以如何来减碳，但是我们发展出来的方法以及工具其实有非常多的可能性，甚至我们也意识到其实碳只是其中一种因素，还有非常非常多的东西是值得我们去认识然后去努力的。加入我们来观察我们这一群从很小很小的团体，但是真的很努力想要做一点改变的艺术从业人员在努力的事情。再次感谢大家的参与，谢谢大家。